and so is a bunch of other publications concerning Bilderberg. Will they admit the world of leaders secretly meeting in 2 weeks? Wow. See, the alternative media is the new dominant media, so the old media has to respond. Hi, folks. This is Alex. Thank you for joining us here on the Sunday edition. If you're a new listener, I'm Alex Jones. I'm a constitutionalist. I want freedom. It's not about being right-wing or left-wing. It's about being constitutional, which basically means I'm about 180 degrees in the opposite direction of people like Barack Obama, but also most of the Democrats and Republicans in the Congress. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to spend the next half hour and the half hour after that with Dr. Corsi, expert on Obama and his fraudulent background, the imposter El Presidente we have, and the fact that all the special interests know this and can completely blackmail him. And we've got Dr. Webster Tarpley, who's one of the first birthers, and he himself more of what you call a classical American system type progressive. The point is he's not a Republican operative. Now, continuing here, ladies and gentlemen, coming up in the last 30 minutes after those guests leave us, you do not want to miss this. Bilderberg agenda attracts national exposure. Romney, policy advisor on defensive over secretive groups' power. And to go from 17 years ago talking about Bilderberg Group on air and having people laugh at me when some of their documents had leaked and folks had broken into the meetings and the media said it didn't exist and things like that, to now having the Washington Post and Politico come out and admit that Bilderberg meets and to a great extent does vet politicians, royalty, Rothschilds, Rockefellers. And they go on to plug Infowars.com and say that, well, yes, we're still conspiracy theorists, but we discovered the location this year and we broke all that. And it does exist, and they do want world government, but it's good world government. So I'm still bad for being right, though. I don't get any journalism award or anything, and you don't either for talking about it and warning people. You're bad for being right. You see, in a world of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. That's Eric Blair. I have my own quote I was thinking about today while I was swimming laps in Barton Creek. What was it? If tyrants were whales, they would swim in an ocean of lies. No, that wasn't it. It was better than that. If a tyrant was a whale, apathy is the ocean in which they swim. But the quote popped in my mind. It was much better than that. It was Twitter worthy. I'll formulate it again in my mind during the break. I think so good when I'm jogging or swimming. I guess because all that oxygen is going through my tiny little walnut brain. And side issue. So that is coming up. I will cover this. Also, a lot of mainstream news picking up Infowars, using it as a news source. We're really breaking through. Agenda 21, is the U.S. on the verge of takeover? That's Business Insider. They favorably linked our reports and say they've looked at our research and it looks pretty darn accurate. You bet it is. See, they can't just laugh at us anymore and go, oh, none of that exists. And here's the Examiner, Obama impeachment bill gaining steam. And it breaks down an interview with Walter Jones last week and how Ron Paul has endorsed it. Very, very exciting on the Obama impeachment bill gaining steam by the folks over at the Examiner. So good job there. Again, I'll be covering that in more detail coming up in the last 30 minutes of the show today. I meant to get to this now, but I'm running out of time here. So I'm just going to cover a smattering of other news now. And then the last 30 minutes, I'll also get to really what's on my heart and mind, what I want to cover that's most important. And that's normalcy bias and how it ties into Stockholm Syndrome and learned helplessness. And those are three different observed psychological, mass, cultural, but also individual manifestations that you need to understand. They also tie into cognitive dissonance. Guys, will you print me a definition of cognitive dissonance so I don't forget to cover that? Because all of these are seen as different phenomenon, but they're not. It's all part of denial, all part of being sheep-like. And it leads to a very dark place. Good, in essence, wants to build up and have more light and empowerment and creativity. Evil seeks to dominate, destroy, humiliate, and evil manifest a population with a heavy normalcy bias, a mass Stockholm syndrome system, a huge learned helplessness. So I will cover that, and I'll tie it into, there's a bunch of the, I mean, the scary part is every couple of days I see these articles now. It's so prolific. A couple of days ago, I was covering this scandal. It's in the Daily Mail, also Associated Press. Thousands of pills filled with powdered human baby flesh discovered by customs officials in South Korea coming out of China. Of course, that's because they're small-time operators shipping in 17,000 pills. Big U.S. and French have been caught, companies. It's in a lot of the cosmetics now. It's in the high-end collagen women inject their lips with. It's not a good idea. It can carry viruses and things, but plus it dehumanizes. But oh, so what? See, when you don't care about the humanity of a baby, well, suddenly you don't have any humanity. Nobody cares about you. See, this worldling idea of care about yourself, me, like that's some type of attribute, and like you're getting ahead of people. That's like not peeing in the pool. That's like pooping in the pool. It's like if everybody went and pooped in the pool. Sorry to use that analogy. It'd be very horrible. See, people develop morals for cultures and societies because they want their children to have a future. The world and the Madison Avenue sells being trendy and evil and into darkness as if it's sexy and powerful. Well, I've been around the block, and I've experienced evil. Let me tell you, there's nothing good about it. The winners at the level of below ultra-elite, the ultra-elite are all about deception, backstabbing, but not with each other. It's about for everybody else. But in successful business and life, if you're known as being honorable, if you're known as your word meaning something, if you're known as delivering the goods, then you are loved. And in a world of betrayal, let me tell you, you're like a life raft. So all you yuppies out there think it's so cool to be mindless and to be disreputable and to be backstabbing and fake, you have no future. I mean, you think you're getting ahead at a little low level, bottom feeder level? You're like worms eating a dead fish on the bottom of the sea, while those of us that are into liberty and freedom are like eagles up in the sky. I'll continue here with the parables, but I see articles like this all the time, and I remember 10 years ago we were writing articles about China selling political dissidents organs, and the State Department came out and attacked us and others and said it didn't exist. Well, China admits they have ads where they advertise political dissidents organs, and the fact that Falun Gong are healthy and don't drink and don't, have sex with people they're not married to and all this stuff. But every few days now I see articles like this one today, London Independent. And again, it's the normalcy bias. Bill Gates came out last year. You can just type in Bill Gates endorses death panels. You'll see him in 2 different speeches. And he says, yeah, you kill grandma, you can hire 10 teachers. And the teachers clap in one of the speeches. See, the normalcy bias. After they got government health care, now the death panels are going in where they say, yeah, we're not going to let you have that procedure. England already has it. They had Newsweek come out and say, case for killing granny. Here it is, Britain arrested in Thailand after being found with 6 roasted human fetuses to be sold to Westerners. They were wrapped in gold leaf to be eaten as part of black magic rituals for rich Westerners. That's right. See, there's nothing cooler for a nouveau riche yuppie than to eat some baby parts. Satanism.
When you're out on the road, the last...
Didn't get it. All right, with us for the rest of this hour, a little bit of the next, and then Dr. Corsi's going to be joining us as Dr. Webster Griffin Tarpley. But I got to hit one thing before we go to Webster with the incontrovertible, overwhelming, over the top, in quadruplicate, on top of quadruplicate. That's only 8. There's like hundreds of pieces of evidence he was born in Kenya, and they're using that to blackmail Obama. Before we get to that, and the latest revelations here, and analyze it, so I didn't spend enough time Friday covering it, so here on the Sunday show we are. I thought I'd cover the Washington Times. House GOP leaders order Holder to cooperate on gun running probe. Well, number one, we've played the press conferences 2 years ago where Holder admitted he was running Operation Gun Runner. He just didn't tell people they were shipping guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. So then he got caught in testimony last year lying. He's since been caught. So has that creature, Janet Napolitano, all of them. I've done newscast over and over again, nightly news, here on the radio as well, showing you the video clips, dated, from C-SPAN. But the mainstream media is too lazy or too dumb. Fox News won't go back and show the perjury. The point is, if the system wants to destroy Obama, they can. Mitt Romney's a fall guy. He's taken a fall. He won't go after Obama on launching wars without congressional approval, saying the UN's his boss, shipping guns in. He won't go after him for the energy deals. And a lot of conservatives are noticing that. And again, people are like, what, are you a Republican? No. That's my point. It shows Romney is bought and paid for, that he won't go after Obama. But the reason I raised Fast and Furious, where, again, they've been caught shipping hand grenades and 20,000 plus guns now to Mexico to blame the Second Amendment, is I got here an hour and a half before showtime, and we've got 3 TVs on. One in here in the control room, one in the break room, and one out in the video editing conference room. They're always on, 24 hours a day. We've got people here pretty much 24 hours a day. And we've got Fox on one, CNN on another, and MSNBC on another, or CNBC. Well, I was flipping through the channels because my son's up here today, and he wanted to watch some TV. I rarely let him, but I wanted to put it on National Geographic or something. And I went on Al Gore's channel that's in basic cable and basic satellite. And it shouldn't be, by the way. It doesn't even have 100,000 viewers an hour. It's not supposed to be in there. There's a big controversy. And there is this thing nobody watches. And so now I've been here for over 2 hours, and it's still demonizing the Second Amendment and saying guns are causing violence in Mexico. No, drug prohibition and the fact that there is no Second Amendment in Mexico is causing that. And the White House shipping 20,000 plus guns and hand grenades in so they could trace them back and blame the Second Amendment. That is. And in hours of going back there during each break to see what they're up to, they never mention Fast and Furious. It's incredible. It's incredible. All right, enough from me. We're here to get an update from Dr. Webster Tarpley. He's written 2 books on Obama, including the unauthorized biography. I have to say, everything he wrote before Obama even got in office, as Obama was elected, he was president-elect, his first book came out. And he also wrote George Bush, the unauthorized biography in '92 that's amazingly accurate, and is the blueprint for many subsequent biographies. He's a fluent Italian, German, French, Latin. He's a doctor of history. He's also an economist, top of his class. I won't go through it all. He has a PhD in history. We're just going to stop right there. He's a Phi Beta Kappa Fulbright scholar, University of Turin, Italy. The point is, Webster Tarpley joins us. He was the first to really skewer Obama. But I got to be honest, I was telling him, back in '07, I'm like, born in Kenya? Come on, Tarpley. And he said, yes, they want to get him in to blackmail him. He's going to be worse than Bush. So he made the Obama deception that was made while he was president-elect, released a month after he was in office. It's been seen over 40 million times online. It's free, the Obama deception, or buy the DVD at Infowars.com. And the point is that it is so incredibly accurate. Get that film out to everybody and explain to them it's 3.5 years old. It'll blow them away because everything in it has come true. People think it was made yesterday. The full blueprint, and Tarpley's one of the main experts who helped me make the film, and he's in the film. Now, that said, why are we going back into the provenance of the birth certificate and all this? Because now we learn his literary agent, the one he still uses, for 16 years, 9 months, has put out over 100 publications, including Harvard Law Review, you name it, saying he was born in Kenya. And all of his other records are sealed. Folks, he was born in Kenya. We've got the fake birth certificates, people getting arrested trying to go to Kenya, the White House admitting in investigations that it's been cut out of the birth filings in Kenya. That means it was there. His mother's CIA, grandma's CIA. So the point is, all they've got is the fake thing in the newspaper saying he was born in